What's up, everybody? Noah Kids back here from our review of Unexpected Grace. Grace finds a note from a schoolgirl looking for a friend. Since Grace is still trying to find her place in her new hometown, she excitedly writes back and sets off a chain of events that ultimately changes the lives of three people. This is all about Noelle. And Noelle lost her daughter, and Jack and Grace just moved to town. And when Grace finds a note that happens to be from Noelle's daughter, that sets off a chain of events involving grief, finding love, and this is a film that I need to really talk about because this is a film that Hallmark hasn't done a whole lot of. We've seen grief stories, we've seen other stories, but we haven't had a full-on grief story like this. We've had moments, but this one is more about a girl wanting a friend, a mother trying to grieve, but also finding love at the same time. This is a very sweet film that is very well written, really well acted, but there's just something about that is just overly... I don't want to say generic, but it's just not all that great. This is a film that I did enjoy. Don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it when I watched it. But Unexpected Grace is not a film I'm going to keep going back to many, many more times, like with other Hallmark films. But Michael Rady is fantastic in this film. He plays the father who is always just moving from job to job to job. After a job falls through, he has to move to another place to find another job. And he's on multiple interviews, and this is a film that really goes into what a daughter goes through with that, or a kid goes through with that, so that can be very relatable for some people who went through that or are going through that right now. Unexpected Grace does dive into multiple elements that can be relatable and are relatable to many. However, it's not overly... It's not one that I'm going to go back and say, hey, I want to watch Unexpected Grace. It's a heartwarming story. It's funny at times, but it's also more of a drama that does have romantic elements, but I don't think they do a good enough job of building the romance between Erica Durance and Michael Rady. And we barely see the father. We barely see Noelle's ex-husband or the father of her kid who passed away. We barely see him. He's not a very integral part to the story, and they tried to make it so he's an integral part because, yes, he's grieving also, but I don't see him enough to really get me to care as much as I do about these other characters. This is a film that I am going to say is very good. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely check it out. I know this review is late, but I'm going to give Unexpected Grace a B+. I really did enjoy this one. It would have been better if we built the relationship more. It's just so heartwarming and well acted that I had to give this a good grade. And the filmmaking is very well done as well. However, it's just those issues that I can't get it any higher than a B+. For a Hallmark film, that's a good score. I will see you guys next time.